All right then. So, yeah, hello. I think that we are live now, I hope. So there we are, Kris.
There we are, beautiful. Well, welcome to today's Psychic Lunch with myself, Kris Meredith, and of course, we've got the lovely Eleanor Grace as well. Welcome, Eleanor. So excited.
Yes, well, we are, and we're talking all about ghosts here today. It's a fabulous topic, isn't it? We've got the new series of ghosts that started last week on BBC One. So we'll be having a little look at that as we go through the Psychic Lunch deal today, and also some of your messages from Spirit as well, which have come through in the mediumship hour. But also, I asked this week if people could send in their experiences as well. You know, have you seen a ghost? Has there been a ghost sitting on your bed? Do you think that you have seen a ghost? And I just wanted to get that in there. You know, who has had that experience? Of course, we'll be talking about the difference between ghosts and mediumship and spirit and those loved ones in spirit. Who do we see? What is the difference? What do we think? What does everybody think? So if you can send your comments in, don't forget you can do that. We are live. We will be responding to your comments. And Kris has already got some of your comments from Monday. So let's have a little look at those and see what you have said.
Oh, absolutely love it. I mean, but it's so exciting as well. And first of all, you know, everyone that's watching, if you can give this a like and make sure you share this to as many people as you possibly can, because the more people that see this, the absolute better, because it's uplifting, it's inspiring. We're all here as a big community as well. And of course, remember, you can send stars as well. And if you send a star, you know, you might get a little bit of an angel message from me, or of course, a wisdom card message from the lovely Eleanor Grace. So make sure you do that. Get involved, like Eleanor said. Comment away, because that's what it's all about. You lot getting involved with everything here, because we're here for you at the end of the day. And I absolutely love the topic all about ghosts. So do remember, if you've seen one, had an experience, you know, really let us know what it's all about. But these ones that have come in from the lovely Eleanor as well, people's stories, which I just absolutely love. This one's from Nicola. This one says, we were having an Xmas party, 5 different families in my house, when a hammer flew out of a toolbox, which was in the kitchen, onto the floor. I mean, Eleanor, can you imagine that?
Well, yeah, it immediately makes me think about poltergeist energy. It immediately sort of makes me think, well, what on earth, you know, is happening? And I've got a similar story to that. And I was a teenager on holiday, and with a friend, and all sorts of stuff was flying around the room, and it was really quite spooky and scary. And you think, well, why have you dropped that? Why have you thrown that over there? So yeah, have you ever thought? Have you had something similar, Kris?
Well, for me, nothing as bad as that, really, as scary as that. But for me, when I was 17 and I would go into spiritual churches and opening up and things like that, and then a gentleman woke me up in my bedroom. Now, I'll always know if your room is pitch black, and then if someone was stood there, you wouldn't be able to see them, would you? You know, because your room's pitch black. But this gentleman woke me up head to toe, pins and needles, like when you knock your arm, and that was the energy. Now, I always associate that energy with spirit, but the man wasn't scary, nothing. He just kept saying, Kris, and I woke up. And of course, when your normal mind comes in, you're like, oh my God. And then I knocked everything off the side of my bedroom table. And I was just like, oh my God. And then I calmed down, realized what it was, and of course, got myself together. But that's really one of my biggest kind of spirit ghost experiences, but nothing scary, nothing like the films or anything like that, you know.
I know. And when you look at the films and here's the ghost, you know, you just sort of, it does get you feeling scary, doesn't it? I mean, it does. Just having a quick look here at some of the comments now that are coming through. I just want to say hi to everybody. Yeah, I know we've got Becky there, Claudia. Becky, right, let's have a look at you. If you're drawing, you'd like a card, and Tina offered. Phil Grant, now we want your comments, don't we, Kris?
We definitely do. Send them
Who
in.
else can you see?
Absolutely like that. So we've got from the lovely Julie. It says, hi, Eleanor. Would love a message, please. We've got Phil. He said shared to different groups as well.
Oh, great.
Has said a big hello and a good afternoon. Lovely. Cindy has sent 100 stars, which is amazing. Absolutely love that. Rebecca's put hello. Becky's there again. Lovely. Carol as well as put I would love a message. So definitely we'll get onto that. Keep sending those stars as well. That's most importantly, because you could get a little bit of a card reading with me and the love.
Also, I know, and also you can say where you are in the world, because my US show went out last night and it's very popular. It's gathering, momentum. We've been doing this for nearly a year now, and a lot of Americans will probably come in and be watching because of the time difference. It's so difficult to get the time difference there, but Australians, New Zealanders as well, they usually come in and join us on Psychic Lunch. So I'm hoping that you're all there, and at some point during this hour you can come in and say hi. So let us know where you are in the world. Give us a ping, and just say, well, where are you? We've got one already. Michigan, USA, and that's Becky Lefebvre. Hello, I'll give you a quick wave. And Carol is in London. Oh, well, near to us, really, near to where I am. And Kris is up in the north of Manchester. We're squashing the country.
I'm in Manchester, really are, loud and proud. But one thing I love, about doing this, Eleanor, is that, you can reach so many people around the world. And no matter where people are, they can get upliftment from it as well. They can get involved. It's just a good thing to do. And also, if people are local to the UK. I mean, one thing as well, Eleanor, for people to know, remember, they've got a competition as well, haven't they? Which is so exciting for people. I mean, if you're just joining us, if you, of course, just make a note of this, because you could win a free psychic reading with our lovely Eleanor Grace right there. All you've got to do is DM Eleanor Grace your ghost story. Just message her that. And of course, at the Chiswick event, which is on the 2nd of October, you could have that reading right there. So make sure you send in those ghost messages to the lovely Eleanor Grace on this page. It's exciting.
We may even record little bits of that reading live. That might be quite nice. So make sure you've got your best frock on.
I'll put mine on, Eleanor, just
great. That'll be even better, so that we can show off our psychic readings, which is what it's all about.
We've just got Eleanor there. We've got the lovely Sindol, and that's from South Africa, which is beautiful.
Hello.
Julie's from Coventry, Lynn is from Gloucestershire, and then Cindy's put, I live in Manchester, but I'm from Australia.
Hello. Wow. Well, I think we'd better start pulling some cards, don't you, for these lovely viewers. We'll just do a couple to get started with. I've got my romantic cards here today, and you, I know, have got your angel cards. So we want to be interactive, and we want to, these are mine. We'll show you our cards.
Hey, definitely do. People don't do that often.
Cards, you can see. How funny is that? All right, so I'm going to go here to, let's see. Well, I'll look at Sindol Nias from South Africa. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for coming in from such a long way away. Now, I've just drawn this card for you here. It's the Two of Pentacles. Now, this is all about partnerships and really getting it back together. I think that's what you're struggling with here, trying to communicate with your true feelings, really. You're wanting to play. Everything just seems to be a game, and it's so difficult for you, I feel, and that's what you have drawn today. But don't worry too much, because things are getting brighter, things are getting better, and you know that yourself. But what you now have to do is encourage that voice of yours to be heard. So you have to speak up a bit, and that's really going to be giving you the confidence. So we're going to do that. We will give you the confidence here to speak up a bit. And over to you then, Kris.
Oh, I love that. Absolutely love that. Beautiful, Eleanor. Well, I've got to go with the lovely Cindy from Manchester, of course, Australian as well. But just for you, lovely, it is the Angel of Dreams. So now an absolute beautiful card right there. But of course, I really think for you, it's all about really thinking about what you want to do, really getting in that moment of what is it, where do I want to go, and how do I achieve it? Because so many times we don't do that. But if you really put yourself where you really want to be in your life, and of course within your relationship as well, put those thoughts out there. Ask your guardian angel for the support to achieve your dreams. It sounds simple, we forget about it, but always remember, if we don't ask, we don't get. And of course, we've got free will. That's a big thing right there. If you don't ask the helper angels, your guardian angel, for that support, they'll just be like, okay, you make your own decisions. But remember, each and every single one of us has that with us. And for yourself, Cindy, that card, this is for you, lovely. Put in the comments, hope it resonated with you, but a beautiful card just for you today.
Oh, Cindy, that's amazing, isn't it? Just a little tip as well, when you're asking for help from the angels, as Kris has said, just do that before you go to sleep. Yeah, close your eyes and just imagine those angels are there with you, and shout out as loud as you can in your mind. Yeah, I want this.
Not out there, Eleanor, when your partner's fast asleep next to you. Don't recommend that.
But you don't make a sound. It's all out there in your mind. And it works, you know, just try it. And that is no next week who's tried it. Well, that would be good, wouldn't it? That would be good.
It would, lovely. It would.
Right, now I am just going to start to sort of introduce, well, what's the difference here between a ghost and a spirit? Maybe we can have a little bit of an example of what that is. I'm a medium, I'm a natural medium. My father was a medium, my grandmother was a medium. So it really just runs through the family. And for me, it's an experience that I've always had. I've always been able to communicate with people who aren't there. It sounds mad, doesn't it? But that's something that you can just do. And on my mediumship hour, which is on Monday, really popular hour, I get lots and lots of feedback. And what we want to see is who has been connected to which loved one who has passed over. And I want to make a bit of a comparison here on our Psychic Lunch today. I've looked at your comments as well to see what you think, but just a comparison between some of the feedback that Kris has got there, saying mediumship hour, about ghost experiences, and I'm just going to give you a couple of comments from mediumship connections that I brought in, and then we can just have a chat about the difference. So I've got here, this is from Sally, and when I connected to Sally, who was on the live stream, I saw this really, really frail image of a lady. She'd come zooming straight in. I always talk about spirits coming into the room, and they do. You know, they just sort of queue up, and that's because it's like a protected room. So then I draw them here. That's what the difference is. I ask them to come in. And on the room, I was talking sort of just gently to this lady, and it was Marjorie. She told me her name, she whispered her name. I always will get a name. And she was sewing, and really sewing quite rapidly, needle and thread, stitching things up. That's what she was doing. And sort of really the message from Sally was, look, your gran is here, but she's really trying to make everything better and saying it's time to start again. And don't worry, you know, there are good times ahead. Now, Marjorie confirmed as well that she wanted to speak to Sally because she came in at the time that I was connected to Sally. So that's how it works. I will look at a message, I will look at a person's name, I will connect to somebody's energy, whoever it is, whether it's an audience in front of me, whether it's out there in the world on live stream, and that will be all that I need. And then the spirit will come in and tell me what they want to say about that person. I find that amazing. I've connected people from Australia to America. Families have been brought together. Now, if you describe, Kris, some of those feedbacks that you've got about ghosts, then we can just have a look at what the difference is.
It's beautiful, you know, and I love that, Eleanor, as well, you know, and you even just saying to people there your own experiences and how you connect as well. You know, I just love that people that watching this, they'll be like, you know, I do that. I connect like that. You know, it's normal. You know, I always think there's a big preconception out there, but it's like, oh no, this isn't good. Shouldn't be doing that. You know, let it flow. You know, and you're great inspiration for letting people see that. So for me, thank you for that, darling. These messages from Mediumship Hour as well. This one's from the lovely Glennis. It says, two ladies together burst into my spirit room, and we are here, Elaine and Lorraine. I kept getting two initials as well as an E and a L. They did giggle. Turns out they are together and both family. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Haley as well. He said, Fred, your granddad arrived and brought a lady with blonde hair with him and knew she was called Sylvia, and turns out she was your friend, now passed into spirit. Beautiful.
There was another one. It was Cherie last week, an American lady that I spoke to live on air, and that was on my USA show. And I brought through a name. I think it was Alison, and I'd got this initial A. And it was really, really pressing. I couldn't get rid of it. You know, I was speaking to her, and I was talking to her about normal things, and I got this. No, I've got to say this to her. And she said, no, I don't know. I don't know anybody in spirit with the initial A, because she's thinking about her family and her family members. So we carried on chatting, and I said, no, I've really got to tell you this. You know, this is a lady that is here, and she wants to just let you know that she was there and she's okay. And then Alison was sort of thinking, I mean, obviously her initial was A, but she was thinking about what she'd done, and she said, oh my goodness, I've just absolutely remembered. It was Alyssa, it was her funeral yesterday, she died last week. And she just like fell apart, because I was speaking to her about what happened yesterday, and before she'd said that, the message was, well, I was there and everything's okay. So it was powerful beyond belief, really. And that's the sort of connection that I want to share to the world, you know, that somehow that can happen. Whereas we've got this lovely sort of ghost idea, haven't we, about what is a ghost? Is it a spirit, or is it something else? Is it an angel? So I think that's something I'd love to throw out to the group here. You're all watching and listening. So what do you think? You know, what do you think actually happens? I'm going to give you my side of the story, sort of what happens to a medium, what does a medium see, and what is it that you actually see? What do you have? Because so many people want to try and almost become a medium, and that's something that people can aspire to and really get there. If they try hard enough, they will, because we've all got that sense, we've all got that intuition, we can always develop it. And people like me and many of my colleagues, yourself, you've developed it over many, many years. So it's like anything, you know, it just takes practice really to be able to do it. But this is where we're getting to the idea that ghosts come in and sit on the bed. You know, so what do you think about that? Ghosts come in.
Well, that for me, Eleanor, I mean, well, that not on the bed, but next to the bed, you know, that was my first experience with spirit, really, when I was, 16, 17. And I did just go to spiritualist churches, but I really got into it heavily. You know, I used to go to the music and meditation on a Friday night. Then I used to meditate religiously every single day. And I was, for me, too young, opened up way too quick. And then I was like, oh, what's going on? Who is that? You know, and it just made me kind of sit up. And then I was like, no, not yet. And then I went back doing normal stuff. But throughout, my life, spirit and the angelic world, they've always come back around. No matter what I've done, if I've gone and, worked in a holiday camp for a year, or I've gone doing cabin crew with BA, whatever I've done in my life, that spiritual side has always come back around. And I think, spirit is always there with every single person, just next to us, with us, living our lives with us. But of course, the angelic side as well is there for that almighty support to guide us through. And of course, I think, spirit spirits are there for different reasons than our angels are there for. And I think, when people come to you, Eleanor, especially, in your mediumship hour, to give them that clarification. But what I used to go to mediumships for was to look for hope, really, that people made it over to the other side, that they're okay. And of course, the most important question is that life after death. A lot of people are scared of passing away, and is that it? No, it's not it. Our soul will carry on, and I always believe, our guardian angel is with us, before we're born, when we're born, with us all the way through the trials and tribulations of life, then there for that transition where we're off to next. So for me, I think, ghost spirits are one thing, but then your angel helpers are another thing. So, like you said, want to throw it out there. We've had a lot of comments there, Eleanor, as well, which, I absolutely love. This is for people as well. I mean, Nicholas put, she was saying about the hammer when it flew out the box. Took lots of photos. There were lots of orbs as well, which is beautiful. I mean, orbs, Eleanor, could be a good topic for another chat, because everyone knows
it's massive.
As well.
It's massive, and we'll try. Everybody try it and photograph an orb. Maybe we'll do that in 2 or 3 weeks. But
that's really
photograph an orb and let's see what happens. So what's Nicola saying then?
There we go. She was just saying there about, and she said, looking at them close up, we could see a baby and a cat and my grandpa, which is so
wow.
What more do you need than that? That's just absolutely lovely. Really, really love that. And then also we've got there Becky. Becky's put, I can feel the difference in energy when speaking of spirit and angelic energies, which I can as well. I know the energy of a spirit and then the energy of the angels, especially when I'm doing, Eleanor, my angelic Reiki treatments, when I'm doing those, when the healing angels come in behind me, it's like the energy is spent up waiting to be passed on to the client. It's like any energy that I've ever felt, and after a treatment I'm sweating like there's no tomorrow. So the energy is just completely different, but it's beautiful energy, really beautiful.
I mean, the gentle energy. So sort of when you've touched on in a reading, I know when I've touched on an archangel, for example, and I know that the archangel, maybe Michael, Raphael, that they've come down and actually just touch. And if I can try and sort of describe this sandwich of layers of energy, that would perhaps be a great explanation for everybody. But when I sort of start any reading, private reading or reading to an audience, open air or online here, then what I will always do is look for a safe place to go to, a safe place to connect to that spirit. That I've practiced this over 35 years, so generally now I don't need to go through any sort of formality and like this is where I'm going to be. But what happens is that the energy will come in, and we've got this sandwich. So we are here. So this is who I'm speaking to here, and I'm in the middle, which is why it's a medium and not a large, but it's just a joke, just a medium. And there we have the spirit there, and I go up to that level. Now the archangel is above that level, so archangels come down to that level, but rarely do they come down to these levels. So a medium will have to go up, and then the archangel has to come down to be able to connect to us lovely people here on earth and living our lives, and wondering perhaps if we're lost at that particular point, or if we need some inspiration to carry on, if we've lost somebody that we want to remember, or if we have that sense of desperation sometimes that we feel, and the opposite to that, where we have real joy as well when a new life is born and when a new soul comes in to the world, and that's something else. So at this point now, we're going to be taking a couple of cards and giving some cards out in a moment to the audience, and lovely of you to stay with us as well. Keep going, because we've got some more stuff yet. But right now, I'm just going to light a candle here, And I just want everybody to take a moment. Okay, I've lit my candle, and this is just a moment that we all need to share, just to remember where we are in the world and what else is happening in the world. With some dreadful things this week, and there always is. So it's just a moment to ponder on those particular special loved ones that you have, and those that you're holding in your heart. And I feel that that's so very, very special. I know that there's some birthdays and anniversaries that are coming up next week. I can feel them. I've got birthday candles all around me, and anniversaries of those that have passed over, those gentle souls in spirit that you're waiting for. So we're just going to take a moment here. I will say that there's a lot of spirit that's come in, actually, sort of eyes are watching, particularly over Nicola, I think. Nicola, I feel that there must be a birthday and anniversary coming up, maybe in the next few days or next week for you. Just let us know. But souls are with you. Not going to broadcast that out loud on air, but I do want to remind you, Nicola, that you have some peace in your mind, some peace in your heart. So let's all follow Nicola. Just have a few seconds now of quiet while we're thinking about those loved ones, and just hold the candle up. I will be blowing this out in a moment. So just close my eyes now, as you can too. Okay, blow the candle out now. Did you feel it? Did you feel the energy coming down just when you closed your eyes? Did you feel that lovely, sort of peaceful energy that you could just float away into? Because that's what I had. And we were talking about archangels too. So I hope you enjoyed that moment. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Kris.
Oh, that was beautiful, Eleanor. Thank you very much for that. And we've had a lovely Kelly Marie. She's just sent 50 stars. Thank you very much for that, Kelly Marie. And we've got Julie Alexander as well. She put, I'm new. Can I please have a card? And thank you. We've had Sheila. She put, I had to leave yesterday, but I'm a newbie. Mandy Johnson's put, a card, please. Loads of love hearts. Nicholas put, I always get cold shivers and a draft around my feet when someone is around. We've had loads of people sharing as well. Got to say thank you so much, for sharing as well. Remember to send those stars, which is fantastic if you can do that. But the more people that see this, it is the better. And for anything that we're talking about, always remember, events. If you've missed something, if you're watching this again, just go to gracedestiny.com. You'll find all the events, everything about Eleanor Grace right there. And of course, as well, if you did, want to book, we were talking about mediumship hour as well. Remember, Eleanor Grace can do your own private spirit messages as well, which is beautiful. A private message and of course a private mediumship sitting with the lovely Eleanor Grace just costs £95, so not a lot there, and it's 1 full hour. That's amazing. Of course, as well, just go to gracedestiny.com and everything is there.
With that particular reading, that's the most expensive one that I do. But what I've highlighted that for is that lots of family members who perhaps have had their father or mother pass over want to share in that experience. So we can do that on Zoom, and we can do a sort of, or a Skype or FaceTime, whatever platform you want, where you can share it. So you're all in that same energy field. As long as it's brothers, sisters, daughters, family members, then they can all experience. And that's what that reading is all about, actually trying to get the experience, that sense of spirit, to bring that in. And it works. And I've done so very, very many successful readings that way. And it's been powerful. I've been in tears, they've been in tears, because they've absolutely been able to share in it. Shorter readings will always be predictive ones, and they're about clairvoyance and what's happening in your life and the things that you don't know about yet, and sort of choices that you have to make. And then there's healing readings as well. But mostly for spirit readings, readings, go for that. There's the shorter ones that you can have as well. But it just gives you an amazing sense of, well, I know that that spirit is passed on. So looking back now onto ghosts, and let's bring in our topic of ghosts this lunchtime. I want to talk about the new Ghost series then.
Hey!
It appeared on BBC One.
Yes.
A lovely sitcom, isn't it? A lovely comedy sitcom.
It's amazing. But it's such a lovely watch. It's comedy as well. But one thing, you bring in that sense of ghost in mainstream TV on the BBC, which is great, gets everyone talking about it as well. But I just love when you watch it, Eleanor, you've got all the different ghosts from different periods doing different things. And, I love that question of, is that what it's really like? Are ghosts like that, Eleanor?
No.
Oh.
Absolutely not. Okay, so I'm just going to I think they've done it really, really well.
Yes.
Because it fits in with everything that we're expecting. It really does. It fits in with the idea that a ghost can't leave a property. I don't know if you saw last night, so I was watching it, but he couldn't get out the gate, could he? Whatever he tried to do, he kept being thrown back, and I thought that was a real comedy moment, which I really enjoyed. So that's something that is common belief, that a ghost is tied to a premises of some sort, a house, a pub, a hotel, a haunted castle, where lots and lots of people perhaps have died, passed on, and the ghost somehow is stuck there and can't move on. So we're talking about lost souls who don't know quite where they're going and haven't really wanted to move on either. So that's the idea of a ghost, isn't it? That they belong to a house, they belong to a property, that nobody else can see them except for a few people like moi and like you. And it's not common, so we're not walking through loads and loads of ghosts every day. And the other factor that's there is that they can walk through walls, and that there's no matter to them, is there? They're not dense matter, haven't got a body. So we've got this idea of a ghost, and what we want to do is make the ghost like us. That's what we want to do. We want to see them as they are. They've also depicted each character as they have died, haven't they? They've said, well, okay, I had my head chopped off. So
I got to say that's one of the ones that you notice more than anything, is where it's just a head.
Just a head. I know. It's Headless Humphrey, isn't it? That's the character, Headless Humphrey. I particularly like, my favourite is Mary from The Plague. I think that is really funny and quite sort of ancient. It was a long, long time ago. So therefore, it's comedic. But if we think about our own families, and if we think about the loved ones that are close to us, we would never, ever put them in that caricature in a ghost house that has belonged in centuries, because we wouldn't want to be thinking of them stuck in that way. So I think it's great to depict them like that, because it's humorous, we all enjoy it, and we have a laugh. But then there's the other side of it as well, isn't there? There's really about everybody's ideas and beliefs, and is a ghost a spirit? So what is the difference? In my mind, it is, okay, we know that ghosts are sort of spooky, make us frightened, and they want to haunt places, and they want to frighten us and scare us and wake us up and things like that. But do they? Are they there? And I don't see them, no. I feel that there's much, much more opportunity to connect to spirit yourself, and that really what happens is that spirit do come down from a long way. As I explained, we've got this sort of sandwich box. What do you think, Kris? What are your ideas?
It's about vibration. I always think, it is that vibrational field where, we're on a much lower vibration, than the spirits and the angels. And it's like you said before, the sandwich box, you're kind of coming together to meet you know, and they've got to really lower their vibration. So, but we've got to heighten our vibration as well. So through techniques from like meditation that we do, you know, we don't just do it, you know, just for fun. Sometimes we do it for that purpose of opening up that third eye, really building that connection. Of course, a lot of people do it because they want to then connect with spirit. You know, some people do it because they want to develop the psychic skills, whatever, but you're opening up. And that's one thing I did. And for me, that brought me to the angelic realm. And I think because I was younger and I got a little bit scared, you know, the angelic energy is different to your spirit energy. So it's not as intense. I always think the angelic energy is a little bit more gentle, where for me, you know, right now in my life, you know, that's good. You know, I don't necessarily want people waking me up at 2 o'clock in the morning, but it's my own bad. Didn't put anything out there. I just opened up as you do, and it just come through, and then that was that. But I think, you know, for anyone out there that is wanting, you know, to connect with spirit, you know, just do it gently and at your own pace. And if things get too much, just say it's getting too much. Of course, they will step back. But it's all about energy, Eleanor, you know, rather than, you know, that's the way I feel angels. You know, I see, especially when I'm doing my healings as well. And of course, I'm doing card readings and things like that. In my mind's eye, we were talking about archangels before. And, you know, especially when I'm doing angelic Reiki, you know, Archangel Michael comes in all the time. And I see a massive blue mist all around my third eye. And I know he's there. Then I will feel his presence as well. Like I'm about 60 feet tall. You just stand loud, you stand proud, but that is his energy. That's me taking it on. And of course, seeing it as well is that confirmation that is part of the healing, but we're being protected, you know. So it's a beautiful energy, but it's about feeling, it's about seeing as well, rather than, you know, seeing someone like in the program, you know, just a headless person. You might see that, you know, everyone's different. But for me, it is more, you get a sense, you know, of their energy. You pick it up that way. That's the way I kind of perceive it.
Anyway. And of course, Michael makes you think in blue, doesn't he?
Yes.
Angel Michael.
Yes, completely.
Blue. That's a difficult one to explain, but yes, a lot of people.
Well, I think sometimes, Eleanor, though, that can translate as well. You know, if you get up in the morning and then you put blue socks on, you know, without us even knowing it, you know, we have needed that protection on some level. Our higher self has been like, right, you're going to need this today. And then you might put blue underwear on, you might put blue tops on, whatever, but you're bringing in that energy, that color of the angels that way. And I just love how they work, because, you know, once anyone says, yes, I want support, I want help, you know, from the angels, you know, then there'll be small little things.
Little tiny signposts, aren't there, all the time, which is what we try to give. And we're going to be talking about our higher self in a couple of weeks. That's our September program. We'll be discovering how our intuition works and how to develop your higher self, and give you some examples of that. So let's have a look then and see what you guys think. You know,
there's a lot, Eleanor. There is.
Go on, Kris, get going.
Let's have a look at what lovely
cards as well for everybody, and maybe a quick look into the crystal ball. I think at this time
it wouldn't be an hour with Eleanor Grace without that crystal ball. That's what I can say. You know, I would have been like, come on, where are they? The lovely Nicholas put, it was my auntie's and uncle's birthday last week. They both passed within days of their birthdays. Oh, bless. Then
they were there then. That's what I was explaining about the connection, that they'd come through, they were there.
Beautiful. We've got the lovely Leslie. Leslie's put like and shared. Thank you for that, Leslie. She put first time watching as well and would love a card, please. That's beautiful. We've got Laura Thompson. I would love a card. Phil Grant's put, do you think that a person passes, they are stuck in that place and that time? Well, you just kind of hit on that before, Eleanor, didn't you?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because that's what ghosts are saying. That's what's in the program, isn't it?
Program is saying,
they're frozen at that place in time. And it's a common question that I'm asked in readings. It's sort of, well, have they grown in spirit? You know, do they keep growing and getting older? Or are they the same age as when they passed? And I have to say that I always see people who are the same age when they pass, they do have that experience of life, whatever that is, however long, short, or whatever that experience is. That's what they're saying is valuable, and coming back in to really just give messages about that person's life, that person's future. None of us really know the answers to those very, very big questions. We just get snippets, don't we? So little tiny peephole into the existence of what happens after we have passed over. And I'll just give you an example of that. When my father passed over, generally speaking, this happens a lot with people, and this is where the idea, I think, of ghosts comes from. He passed, and I could see him once he'd passed over for about 4 days. He was going round and round and round the house, and he was sort of going really quickly, you know, it was speedy, like Speedy Gonzales, going round, and he was visiting. There must be some element of transition where people can suddenly, oh, where am I? I don't know where I am. And I do have that a lot as well when I'm connecting to those souls that have passed, and they really, some of them don't know that what's happened. They don't know that they've passed into spirit. So it's only when we reach out that they actually understand what's happened, and then move on to whatever it is happens next, the next dimension. And that's all that I'm going to describe it as, whatever that dimension is. So that's my sort of understanding as a medium, and having, lost my father, who was also a medium, so he would also know exactly where to come to connect to me. And I think that probably is common with a lot of people. So watch out for that. If you're suddenly realizing that there's a strange energy, you're looking over your shoulder, you're sort of looking over there, what's happening? That's what is that experience. It's not a ghost, it's a warm energy that comes close to you. So we're getting a lot of feedback. Let's take some cards as well. If you could take some angel cards. I'm just going to get my crystal ball ready now.
Oh, here we go. We need a drum roll here, Eleanor. We need a drum roll, don't we?
Well, it's here. Well, this is the big one, which I love to have, because this is for love, really, love and help. So we'll be looking at that one. I also, though, because it's about ghosts, I've got my quartz one, which is even better. This is a lovely sort of spiritual connection that we have, in the aquamarine that is in the quartz crystal. So I do like to have a look at those. So I'm going to wait for you to give your cards out, and then you can perhaps shout out a couple of names, and I'll give some answers from the crystal ball. Maybe that's
lovely. Well, I'll do a quick card message for the lovely Carolyn, because she shared as well, and she's put, I love the way you can make me giggle a bit about ghosts. You're so good at explaining things in a non-scary way. That's a good way. That's an amazing way. But Carolyn, let me just do a quick angel card just for you, darling, because I know you tuned in last week as well, but you've come back this week, which is fabulous. What have you got? Angel of Inspiration. Absolutely love that. Beautiful card as well. They are beautiful cards, and I love these cards as well, because you've got real people on them, so you've got that connection as well. But really think about all inspiring for yourself. Really think about your inspiration for life, but then also about where you want to get to in your life. I think sometimes we can lose that inspiration and that lust for life. If there's something that you want to do, just call on the Angel of Inspiration. So all you've got to do, bring it in and see where it goes, and trust it as well. You've got to trust it, because then if you think, why am I doing that? Why do I want to do that? Listen to your guardian angels, listen to that angel of inspiration. But this one is for you, lovely. There you are. Right, I'll pick you a name, Eleanor, right there for you, darling. Let's have a look. So we've got the lovely Julie Brett there.
Hello, Julie. Okay, well, for you, want to give you the initial T straight away. That's come zooming in. So who is that to you? T. I think it's Tom. Tom or Tim, very short name. Let us know if that's connected to you. If you can't think of it, don't worry. It always works its way through. Now, Julie Brett, you've stumbled a bit recently. I've got you falling over, literally, here in the crystal ball. It can be symbolic, you know. You might have just really had a time where you felt a bit overwhelmed, couldn't cope. But do watch for that fall. You'll get up, you'll bounce back even stronger, Julie. But don't say so much to people. Be aware of keeping your own counsel. I feel that you're not being served very well by maybe a few gossipy people around you. So watch out for that. No bad intention, I don't feel. But Julie, you're overcoming, and your psychic senses are growing. Wow. Big growth spurt for you in the spiritual development area. So Julie, keep going. There you are.
Oh, that's absolutely beautiful, Eleanor. I love that as well. Thank you for that one. Lovely Carolyn just put, Kris, you are so genuine in your explanations of spirit energy. You are the real deal. Oh, darling, thank you so much for that. That means a lot. And we've just got another lady that wants a crystal ball, lovely. This is for the lovely Laura Thompson.
Oh, hello, Laura Thompson. We've got the pink one for you. Laura, I've picked this one out for you because it's very romantic, and I feel that this is what is in your heart. You're needing, Laura, a lot of affection and some kisses and cuddles. And, you know, the lovers really is here. Don't have your expectations too high. I know that, you know, that's opposite to many people's advice, where you should be really picky and should, you know, put it out there as to what you want. But do you know what? Really just try and have some fun here in a relationship. Paint the picture of what you want in your life. But with this rose quartz crystal ball, I think you're being brought romance, and accept it graciously and generously, and have some fun. Don't be too removed. There's your message. Oh, I think we'll do another one from the crystal, Kris, if you've got it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful. We've got lovely Julie Alexander puts, I'm loving this. You both work very well together. So yeah, do Julie Alexander, lovely.
Okay, well, Julie Alexander. Hop, skip, and a jump. That's what you need to do. It sounds a bit silly, doesn't it? But what I'm seeing here are some hurdles in the crystal. And again, it's about aspiration. It's about you wanting to achieve, not really knowing quite how to get there sometimes. So I think that it's important now to continue with what you want, to get this initial B here. And that's somebody that is greeting you, shaking your hand. I think there's a new job on the horizon. So Julie, romance, improving, you overcoming your doubts and fears, a new job there. So shake his hand and say, yeah, okay, I'm going to. Saying yes, that's your message.
Oh, absolutely love that. Oh, it's beautiful, Eleanor. I'll just do one more angel card. Let's have a look. Let's do the lovely Daniel O'Brien is watching as well. Hello, Daniel. I hope you're okay, buddy. This one for yourself, matey. I've got one that's just flown out. I absolutely wouldn't do that. This is the Angel of Challenges. So this is something that you could be facing right now. Maybe you're going through a situation. It could be career, looking for the right job as well. But also as well, when we face challenges, you know, don't let it beat you. You know, the challenges are there to make us grow. We don't always understand it and know it in that moment. You know, we could be tearing our hair out, but keep the faith. And of course, ask your angels for support and help to ensure you make it through the challenge, because that's what it's all about. If we don't have challenges, we don't grow as people. And of course, once you make it through, you look back, you can always think, that's what that was for. But remember, the Angel of Challenge right there just for you, buddy. And thank you very much for watching as well. Always appreciate it. And of course, you're commenting as well right there in your masses, which is beautiful. Remember to keep sharing this as well to as many people that find it. If you're re-watching it later on as well, remember, is anything that you want to catch up on or you want to contact Eleanor, just remember, go to eleanorgrace.com for readings, everything, events, everything like that. Good place, in it, Eleanor?
It is, it is. It's a very, very busy place. But keep coming back to the Facebook page because you will get information about everything that's coming up and what we're doing. And what we're doing next week is all about holidays. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that towards the end of the hour. But right now, I want to introduce you to a psychic blog that I have been creating here on the website, which is gracedestiny.com. And the psychic blog has got lots of different information really about you. It's all free and you can have a look at it, you can have a read at some of the stories. And this week I have written a ghost story. Now I'm just going to read out the introduction to this week's ghost story. And yeah, if all of you can remember, like when you were at school and you were doing some GCSEs in English and things, and you were given the introduction of the story, and then you had to finish it off. Do you remember that? Do you remember doing that?
I do.
Well, this is what I'm going to do to you. Right now, I'm going to read the introduction, and I want you to just come in and say, well, what happened next? So bear with now and let us know who is still there. Just send us a ping, a heart, a like, a comment, anything to let us know that you're still there, and then we know who to focus on to give some more cards to, some more messages to, because people dip in and out, and we know that you're maybe at work or got lots to do, you're busy, so we want to know who is there, and have a listen, get a cup of tea, and I'm just going to read you this introduction now. Are we ready? Are we listening?
I've got my brew. We're ready.
Are we listening? Okay, so I've got my candle, by the way. I'm bringing in my candle, very, very important. When we're reading anything about ghosts, protect yourself with that candle light. That's really important. So this is a ghost story by me, Eleanor Grace. So here we go. Teenagers Linda and Helen were enjoying their first holiday without parents in Blackpool. Wow, that's an amazing place. They were staying at Auntie Pat's B&B, which is a huge Victorian 5-story terraced house. Auntie Pat was not a relative, but Helen's godmother and family friend for many, many years. Helen noticed something different about her, though. She was edgy and she was nervous, and that was really unusual for Auntie Pat, as Auntie Pat could always be relied upon for her direct, organised and no-nonsense manner. She would most often approach people with fortitude and really display herself as a typical northern lady. Everyone thought about her in that way. And Auntie Pat was very well liked and is a character that was easily recognised in Blackpool. So when it happened, Linda and Helen froze. They couldn't move, but managed to look into the mirror just before Auntie Pat gave out the most enormous scream. What happened next? You will be able to read the story at midnight tonight, bit of a Cinderella touch there. Midnight tonight, you will see the conclusion of A Ghost Story by Eleanor Grace. So what's your thoughts then? What happened next? When it happened, Linda and Helen froze. They couldn't move, but managed to look into the mirror just before Auntie Pat gave out the most enormous scream. Wow.
I love that, Eleanor. That's amazing. That's so good. That is such a good story as well. And you've written that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I write a lot of stories.
I love that. And of course, do remember though, you need to go to gracedestiny.com/psychic blog. And of course, midnight tonight, you'll be able to find out what continues. What a cliffhanger, Eleanor.
Absolutely. But do we have any ideas from our audience?
Oh,
What
we've
do you
lovely.
say?
Nicholas put that was mesmerizing. Lynn Clark's put late night for me tonight. Looking forward to reading this. The lovely Carolyn's put see you at midnight tonight. Heather's put hi there, hoping to get a reading. And then lovely Carolyn's put I'm all ears. But do put in your comments what you think will happen next. Do
I
put
know.
them in.
We'll read them out at
And we will. We definitely
the show.
will.
We've got 6 minutes, 7 minutes for you to.
How quick, Eleanor, has this hour gone? It feels like we've been here for about 10 minutes.
I know, it's just zoomed by. Zoomed by. I think we should take some more cards, don't you?
Yeah,
just give a little bit of an uplift as well. So remember that there are some special offers as well that you can get on our website, and you can direct message me anyway, and we'll have a look. We'll see what is ahead for you. So let me see now. Late night for you from Carolyn Shepherd, Nicola Kerslake. Let's see who is here. Has anybody sent some more stars? Have we missed any of our star senders today?
Lovely. We'll go up. Remember, do send stars as well. Of course, you'll get a direct message from either me or there'll be Eleanor right there.
Let's go to Tina. Offered was Dakin. I love that. Was Wizard of Oz. I've had a terrible year. Lost my fantastic mum last year and had a motorbike accident 2 weeks ago today. Ooh, that's a combobulation, isn't it? That's that word, isn't it? Of difficulty. Right, you'd love to know if it's going to get better. Well, we've got a card that jumped out. So that one is the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles is about loss and sadness and, wanting to be protected and hugged and given a little bit more sort of reason, a raison d'etre. That's what it is. Four of Cups. That's what's coming in. So some whining and dining, some good times, party times. And I think that's what you've got to do. Try really hard to get rid of negative thoughts, those things going round and round in your mind, and mentally dump them, write them down, write a list of all the horrible things, and then put that in a little envelope and say to yourself, I'm going to open that envelope at 6 o'clock tonight, not going to think about it until I get to 6 o'clock tonight, and then have a look, and then have a cry, have a bit of a moment, but then put it back in the envelope, maybe at 6:15. So that you're allowing yourself a little bit of time to feel sad, but then you're also saying, I want to feel happy as well. Next card, just to see where that is leading to. And there you go. This is the old jolly guy who is making things better for you. I think it's time to get to the pub. That's what he's doing. He's having a drink. So that's your message. Maybe go to the pub and have a drink.
Oh, love that. What a great ending to a message, Eleanor? To pub. That's what we like. I'm going to pick a lovely angel card now for the lovely Samantha Strudwick, who's just sent 50 stars. So thank you very much for that lovely. You made me giggle there, Eleanor. It's funny. Tip pub. There we go. Let me have a look. Oh, that's good. There we go. Oh, Angel of the Night Sky. What an absolute beautiful card right there. Now, Angel of the Night Sky for me is that time when you take time for yourself to really look at your life. Because if you think of the night, it's where things are a lot quieter. Things are calmer as well, but it's a time where we can take stock really on our life, where we're at, and of course, where we want to be. But it really gives you that sense of calm. So I'm really feeling that around you right now. Maybe you want to bring in that calm into your life. Maybe things are a little bit crazy and you want that little bit of a rest and of course, and relaxation. And of course, I always love a bath at nighttime as well, but especially to bring in those soothing, those calming vibes of the night sky, and also looking up to the stars as well. Do you remember that? I always think there's a little bit of magic in those stars. So really call up on those stars if you need a little bit of that magic. But what a beautiful card. And of course, call on your guardian angel at any time. I love that. Beautiful card.
Fantastic. Okay, I got my crystal here again. So, do you have somebody you could pick at random here? Last crystal ball message of the psychic lunch hour today.
Let's have the lovely Phil Grant.
Oh, Phil Grant. Hello there, Phil Grant. Well, I'm just looking here into a maze of opportunity that is around you. I don't know whether this is something that you could be considering, but it looks as though houses and property are very, very much on your mind, but also the spirit around you as well. The initial of M, going to give you M. There's a birthday coming up, so that's for you, Phil Grant. I feel that this was a man as well that has passed into spirit, sort of. I want to say Martin. That's what I want to go to, but I'm not sure whether it's a message for Martin or whether Martin is in spirit. So you'll have to come through and let us know. But yeah, property issues, good times, really good times ahead. Look at that crystal ball, isn't that amazing?
It's stunning. You know, I've always loved your crystal balls, Eleanor.
Really, really nice. So this one is the romantic one. So whoever you're with here, and this is for Phil, but all of you actually, then just remember how well loved you are. Okay, and that includes the ghosts as well. I think, you know,
it does.
The ghosts around the house. We'll protect ourselves with the crystal, but welcome that energy in. So there we are. There we have it. Next week we will be back next Wednesday. Psychic lunch with Eleanor and with Kris, and we really look forward to all of your comments. So next week we're talking about holidays and holiday romance. What's happened then to you? Have you felt as though you want to get back in touch with somebody? Perhaps there's reconciliation. What did you do with that holiday romance? Did you fall out? Did you get married? What actually happened? So we're going to be talking lots about holidays next week as we're coming up to the bank holiday for August. And we've got some cocktails. I'll be in my kitchen and I'm going to be making you a psychic venom cocktail. Wow. Your cocktail there.
That's going to be epic, Eleanor. I mean, I just
that's the one. So we'll get ready for a bit of psychic venom next week.
Definitely. Well, I know what my homework is to find an angel cocktail. I'll find you one.
That's the one that we'll go for. So it's cocktail week and holidays next week on Psychic Lunch. So it's a bye-bye here.
And a bye-bye from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining. Bye. Bye-bye.